Yes, hello everybody, and again we have another teacher talk sessions today. And it's really going to be a great uh, event today, and it's a very famous teacher, trainer, and educator is going to be with us tonight. And she is Professor Dr. Tamar Dolidze from Georgia, and she's going to be with us in this teacher talk series today, and we are going to have very educational session today with her, and we are going to talk about different topics, and we're going to talk about different topics which all related about the education. And now we are waiting for her to come and join our session. Yes, we are waiting for her. Yes, Dolidze. Hi, and start teaching and learning is also here with us. Yeah, hello, Los Whites, and all the teachers and educators who join and watch us today. And from Ukraine, hello to Turkey, hello to Ukraine. And we are waiting for Mrs. Dolidze to come to the live session. When she comes, we are going to start our session with her. Hello, Samat. And I need to, yes, not here yet. Azerbaijan, hello to Azerbaijan. We are waiting for her for this sessions, and we are this is going to be the 13th teacher talks. And when I remember when I started the first time, it was 13 weeks ago, and now this is 13th one, and it's really every week we have a different guests, and they are all really important, and they are all really precious people for us, for for education world. And thanks to them that they share their time, they share their experiences, and they share their ideas with me and with all the teachers and the people who listen to us. And I hope that you are getting something really nice and useful things and ideas to use in your classes. And I'm waiting still for her. Hi, hello, Anastasia from Ukraine, and Samet from Azerbaijan, and Anna Gio also is here. And we are waiting for Mrs. Dolidze to come and join. And normally she has to be here. She knows that and how to do it. Maybe she has some technical problems. Hello, Carlos from Panama. Hello, one of our guests 2 or 3 weeks ago. Carlos was here, and we have talked with him, which was really educational talk. And Yes, he is here. And here, here we go. Yes, hello,
Yes. Hello, hello,
hello.
dear Volkan.
Yeah,
Nice to see you. Nice
finally.
to hear
Hello,
you.
Mrs. Dolidze. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you well. Sorry for this inconvenience. I was actually getting once again connecting to the
It's
internet.
okay. No problem. No problem. We were talking about, and I was mentioning about you a little bit. And so you are here, and it's really good
Yeah.
to see you, Mrs. Dolidze. And I, firstly, I would like to thank you that you accepted my invitation for this live session, and it's really, honor for me to have you here. And I hope that it's going to be a really educational and really a fantastic speech for everybody who listen to us
Thank,
today.
thank you indeed for your interest and for this invitation, which I kindly accepted. Thank you
Yeah,
indeed.
thank you very much, Mrs. Dolise. And if you want, we can start it if you are ready, our
With
conversation. So, Mrs.
pleasure. I'm
Dolitze,
ready.
Mrs. Dolitze, I know that you have lots of experiences, and I'm really looking forward to listen to them. And I'm sure that the one who listens to us, they are also wondering what are you going to say. So, let's start about yourself. Can you tell us about a little bit yourself, Mrs. Dolitze?
Uh, with pleasure. Of course, it's my pleasure to introduce myself. Yes, my name is Tamar Dolidze. I'm basically just based in Batumi. I have been leading and my active life from my birth from Batumi, which is in Georgia, at the Black Sea side. And as I can tell you that I have been a very active teacher professional. I can tell I call myself, and I'm married. I have two sons. And what can I tell you? Just I also have been very actively involved since I graduated from my bachelor studies as well MA studies and PhD later. I have been actually cooperating with local government, so working for international relations department of Hajar Autonomous Republic government. Also involved in many international projects, and at the same time, I haven't never been actually isolated from my teacher career, I have to say, and I always have been striving for not excellence, but I'm constantly pursuing what is our goal to be constantly just under constant development.
I see. Okay,
That's
thank you very much.
short information about myself.
Yeah, okay, great. And I am actually really wondering about your experiences in teaching. Can you tell us about a little bit about your experiences in teaching English, I think,
Yeah,
in this
definitely I
area?
can. Yes, this is very important experience for me because it is related to my basic qualification and my background. It definitely is related to the teaching, to a particular to EFL as well as ESP. And but I'm going to tell you in short about how did I actually develop my specific research interest related to the teaching area, of course. So I
Oh,
can tell you
great.
that so as soon as I graduated. And as soon as I did my master MA in English philology, which was my alma mater, which is based in Batumi State University, which is, by the way, very popular and it has high ranking in terms of international programs. And I
Uh-huh.
was somehow offered a teaching job, which is quite a courageous a step from my side in order to accept. But I can tell you that I started to teach, of course, after I have after I took some not a lot of tests, some kind of I did some demo lesson with a local university staff. But as soon as I proved, I actually entered the classroom with adult learners. So now when I see from my experience of already 15 years, more than 15 years, approximately 16 years of experience, I can tell you that it was quite, I have to say, a bold step. And and nowadays, even if I just say if I was consulting, and I also time consult my English philology students, because this is my
Oh.
basic university where I mostly teach. Even I'm affiliated to another institution right now, but I all the time go as an invited lecturer to Patumi State University, where I try to meet my target audience, my future counterparts as the teachers of English, and I all the time, how to say, advise them to go to start teaching with adult, not adult, even with younger learners, to go to school, because teaching is a really exciting job, and it's really needs to take all these phases of development. Yes, that's why I do my best in order to motivate my learners, that it's like a really just a very motivating profession, which we should never, of course, get rid of. And it's like because sometimes, even when I was graduating, I can tell you that teaching wasn't as popular, yes, as it is right now. And I can tell you that that's why, in parallel to teaching, I was actually, I actually started my internship at the International Relations Department, and started my job as a translator, and so translating for that period was more interesting experience. But now, as I see that, of course, I have never stopped. I have never been like living without teaching. That's why I really find it very motivating, very rewarding jobs, because you are dealing with younger generations. You educate. You act as educator, like you inspire them in a positive way. You may motivate them, yes, to live a right way, yes, of life. And of course, I can tell you that after this, I was mostly just teaching general English subjects, like for the time grammar was very popular. It was called practical grammar. Then I was offered like other ESP subject, like business English, so like as well as like analytical reading, so dealing with the text. So actually I was mostly dealing with just students which were adult learners. And now when I even see the students, they are like my mates, like not course mate, but like my colleagues and my friends, yes. After this, I was elected as an assistant professor. So I started somehow like a research activity at the same university. And of course, when you start a research life, of course, you cannot do it without teaching, without being in active teaching. And I started to develop some kind of like articles on intercultural communication on the areas and on the topics which were appealing, which were like relevant to me. So which was attractive to me, yes, and at the same time which was popular, and which was like just how to say, attractive for like international listeners, yeah. And of course this was really very interesting job, because we were actively involved in the process of developing curriculum, as well as in the process of like taking exams, to preparing for the exam, so on and so forth. Okay, so this was my primary institution, yes, and then I, of course, then I was trying to promote myself, not to promote myself, I applied for a better position, because this assistant professor's position, actually, it lasts for 4 years, and then I was offered another better opportunity by one more private university, which is based in Tbilisi, in the capital, but branch was is based in Batumi. It's called Krobakidze University, where I started to chair Department of Foreign Languages. It was like an offer which I accepted readily, but of course it was at the same challenging and rewarding for me, because I was actually dealing with a lot of my colleagues, because you know Batumi is quite small town, and EFL community is rather small.
Yeah.
So that's why you cannot get rid of like your colleagues. You can meet them everywhere, yes, if you are an active person. Yes,
you are right.
Okay, this is like, and of course, I can tell you that in parallel to my academic activity, I have been I mentioned that I also worked for a Gero government. After which I moved to Constitutional Court of Georgia. So why I want to mention this? This institution was very big. It was like a big motivation for me to start teaching legal English, which is another ESP field and quite challenging and quite difficult. And I was working for International Relations Department, mostly dealing with the students and organizing summer schools, selecting the students, compiling the tests, and shortlisting the candidates, so on and so forth. So this was actually related to my so partly teaching activity and partly, how to say, administrative work. And sometimes,
Wow.
but this administrative work somehow taught me how to deal, how to cooperate with foreigners, how to even, because whenever, so then I'm going to tell you about that. After this, since 2014, I was participating in Erasmus exchange programs for teaching mobility, starting from Portugal, University of Porto. Then I was invited as a German University, Jena, Friedrich Schiller, as an ESP teacher, ESP lecturer, which was how to say, just incredibly, I have to say, valuable experience for me to attend the lectures or a course developers for ESP teachers, because I was even living with them. So this was how I was actually bringing up myself together with a international a community of teachers and and more experienced professors than me, because I can hardly call myself professor, because once I have been cooperating and I have been honored to have been actually after say working with these honorable people. So I can name a lot of people who have definitely have a very positive impact on my career development as a teacher. Wow. And maybe as a maybe just I can a novice researcher. I can call myself. I'm not I cannot even call myself as a researcher. So. Yeah. So if you have any questions, wonderful. I can proceed, but otherwise I'm not going to stop unless you stop me.
No, it's okay. Yeah. Wonderful. You have such a long experiences and such a long, periods in teaching. So it's normal that you have to talk about them. It's really great. So, if you want, I can move to my next question. Actually, you talk about your current institution, but
with pleasure, yes. But yeah, I really would like.
Yeah, can you tell us about your current institutions and what kind of things you are doing there?
Yes, with pleasure, Volkan. Actually, my current institution and affiliated institution, this is Patumi State Maritime Academy. And as you might be aware, Patumi is a Black Sea side, how to say, hub for the whole South Caucasus, and it's the only higher educational institution which is actually ruled and which is managed by the Ministry of Economy and Sustainable Development of Georgia, and Maritime Transport Agency of Georgia definitely contributes to its constant development and to its very important mission of internationalization. And by the way, this is very nice institution because it has almost 1 century of it.
Wow.
Involved in teaching business English and business communication, which is my just basic direct and research interest at the same time. And this has a university, of course, a navigation faculty, and of course faculty of engineering, and we have very nice department of foreign languages, and which is actually run by academic staff together with invited lecturers. And why do I want to mention, and why would I like to highlight this institution? Because I actually joined Patumi State Maritime Academy since 2017. As you see, my career, it's more or less, it's quite diverse. Because I try to not to cover but I try to actually meet and encounter the audience, to choose the audience where I can actually develop myself as an ESP teacher, ESP lecturer, and even ESP researcher. Because nowadays it's quite challenging to develop yourself as a teacher of business English when you don't have a direct qualification, and when you have a diploma which in business administration, for example. Even there are some, of course, doubts that how can you teach legal English, but even I can teach legal English 1 and legal English 2 second course, which is high level, and I use a lot of authentic materials, and I use a lot of newspaper articles on freedom of speech and freedom of expressions. And I also was visiting University of Würzburg, which is actually the Faculty of Law, which is the ancient one in Germany, which was actually founded in
Wow.
1402. Can you imagine 1402 with
Wow.
a very ancient
Wow.
tradition? And when I was giving a lecture on the freedom of speech and expression, I was actually representing my country. But believe me, this is quite tiring, I have to say, immense workload together with my admin. I have to say work which I daily do because we
Mm-hmm.
all the time during the whole year we organize conferences, international visit of the justices, of the judges, to even to Turkey. We have very close cooperation with all the European courts of like constitutional courts. But besides this institution actually, and they help me to actually somehow get in touch with like a legal concept which I actually incorporated into my ESP lectures. And when I'm like giving this guest lectures, I'm often just address, how do you know this topic? Of course I don't have this like claim. I cannot claim that I have in-depth
Yes.
knowledge as a lawyer. But believe me, even I also give a lecture. I'm an author. I have not mentioned. I'm an author of the course, which is called Business Communication. And by the way, this
Mm-hmm.
course have been very successfully delivered at my home university, Batumi State University, for 8 years
Yes.
already. So I will be celebrating 10 years of anniversary after 2 years. But I really need
It's
to
great.
thinking about like because I don't have time to think about like issuing a book, because this is like a course, a monograph, and like a course book materials which I share with my students. And by the way,
Uh-huh.
I all the time, it is an optional course which is mostly chosen by the students of English philology, future teachers of
Yes.
English. And by the way, I was really lucky, and I'm not quite sure, my Turkish former Erasmus students from Ula University. Yes, they were my best and my
Oh,
favorite
really?
students. Yes.
Nice.
And they were enjoying, yes, art of like a public speaking. I deliver lecture how to develop art of public speaking, how to make just a good presentation, how to deliver a persuasive speech in English, how
Uh-huh.
to develop a good CV. So this is business communication skills, which is not only necessary for only the students of English philology, but for all students.
Yes.
That's why, so a lot of people get enrolled in this course, and that's why I am like connected with this university, with this course, which is somehow my, how to say, not so I have to say, tool which I use everywhere. Yes, and I also
Wow.
developed. Yes, I'm going to tell you about this, about my training, which I also developed based on this course on business communication for lecturers as well. And so, can
Great.
I also finish with my recent institutions, which I actually
Of course.
have to say, yes, got connected during this pandemic, and I can tell you that this pandemic period somehow has been a bit hectic for me, because just all these webinars online, like
Yeah.
just platforms online, like meetings, encounters, exchange experiences, sharing sessions. I have been really doing a lot of work, but of course this was very timely, very needed, useful, not only for like for us in order to actually to overcome this crisis, but of course at the same time, to keep pace of our professional development. And this was very strange that when I was during the pandemic, I was actually just presenting a paper, and I was working on the paper for like a Mediterranean multidisciplinary forum, which was held in Barcelona, but I was just actually attending it online. And I was referring to the very famous source from Italian, just ESP lecturer. It was Lorenzo Fiorito, and who actually just invited me. So why don't you try to just to get enrolled in our online institution, which is Pegaso International, which is based in Malta? Oh, so I was really just
Great.
looking like this, like astounded eyes, yes. And I was, can you imagine that since and they actually, and very just in a very just abrupt manner, they gave me a choice of the courses, and one of the course which was actually closer to me, it was communication language philosophy. And can you imagine,
Wow.
during 3 months when I signed the contract, it was May 22nd, and I actually signed the contract, and I just shot 24 video lessons, which was approved by this institution, plus didactic materials. And because this is an online,
Wonderful.
and from September I will be teaching like online for the students of Pegasa.
I think,
Also just
yeah.
based in Malta, just in Italy. Okay, so this is my
Wow. They are,
just really institutions. Yes, I think I have
wow,
talked a lot.
wonderful. You have a really lucky institutions, and your institution is also lucky that you
Oh,
have.
not so much.
Yes, such a great one they have, like you, and
And welcome.
you are doing
Can I also
wonderful things.
mention? Can yeah, yeah. And
Sure, of
my
course you
recent
can.
and my last institution. This is SR Teaching and Learning, and the brilliant team headed by Mr. Samad Samado and Iva Tatarawa. Actually, and
Yes.
I was actually I just accepting how to say participating in the trainings when I just suddenly got offer to become their official representative in a Gero Autonomous Republic. This happened in July, and I have been also
Wow.
like I have become their family member since July, for which I am really grateful, and for which I am like have hold a very high responsibility. So. So this is my last institution, but it's like a trade related to my development as a teacher trainer.
Wonderful, wonderful. I'm sure that
Okay.
also you have just mentioned that the new course you are going to
Yeah.
start it. I mean, your students, and I'm sure that they are really lucky about you that you are going to have such a great lecturer in
I'm not quite
Italy.
sure.
You know.
So, but of course,
Wow.
I really miss communicating with my students in person, face to face. But you know, due to this pandemic, we were forced to somehow to transform what was our way to say so classroom activities in order to make our online learning experience as attractive, as
Yes,
motivating, and as inspiring as possible. Yes, we were forced. It was not our
I
choice,
see.
unfortunately. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, you are right. But we will see. Okay, thank you very much, Mrs. Dolidze. And now I move to my next question. Actually, it's about your country. I'm
Yeah.
wondering, like, what are the advantages of working in Georgia? Can you tell us about little bit?
Of course, I cannot imagine just living without my country, of course. So, by the way, I can tell you that during just last year, when my family, like when my spouse was actually living in Azerbaijan, Baku, I was trying somehow to just move there. And can you imagine during my just 10-year visit there, I gave a demo lesson at one of the like strongest university, AD University, and one of but the Beko State Maritime Academy. But luckily, just because he returned to my country, and I of course returned to Georgia, because you know this is a country which gives you a lot of opportunities. And nowadays, because Georgia, because not because of the state, it's my home country. When we visit, when we host international visitors, this is a country, of course, which is also popular among a lot of Turkish students. We receive a lot of Turkish
Yeah,
visitors because Turkey is a neighboring country, and the country without which I cannot even imagine my summer holidays, because family I all the time spend my vacation in Turkey, you know, like in like a Mediterranean region. So that's why
yeah,
I
it's
can tell you
wonderful
that.
weather.
So my country is very open to the like a recent development. It's a really open to say good say and I'm really just I can tell you that nowadays academic
Uh-huh.
very soon how to say adequately how to say compensated, because
Uh-huh.
for this time of course the compensation is money to everything, but when you strive for your excellence, when you want to when you teach when you see yourself like maybe in 5 years time, yes, in the same academic field, I know that So this profession will be, how to say, sufficiently, how to say, rewarded and awarded as in like in
Yes,
our neighboring countries like Europe, in Germany, I'm not telling the United States, and in many countries. And I really do
great.
believe so. Yes, because but still we have to be patient. Yes,
Yeah.
that's
So,
why I'm, because this is a profession when you are mostly dealing with a young generation, which are actually, so I have to say, very motivating for us to be
uh-huh.
constantly under like not pressure, to be all the time energetic, enthusiastic. Yes, they give us like a force, because so I
Wow.
see in every student, in every, how to say, adult, I see my sons, because I have two sons. But can you
Yeah.
just tell you, I can tell you that sometimes I don't even have enough energy left for my like even like my sons, because they attend, they go to the language centers, and when I see my colleagues, why don't you teach them? No, because I mostly deal with the adult learners, because I have a lot of colleagues. I am sure that they have better,
Yeah,
how to say, methods and better strategies, which are actually more adaptable to the young learners. Yes, that's why
I see.
I know we have to take them and do it, yes, in more safer hands. This is my approach.
Great. Wonderful.
Okay, this was like
Great.
my insight
Great, Mrs.
about my
Dolidze.
country. Yeah.
So, yeah, wonderful. So, as far as I know, you are providing online lessons because of the COVID-19. So, how this situation change your teaching style, and what kind of instruments or
Yeah.
materials you are using for this?
Okay, but before moving
And
to
there was
your
something,
question,
Georgia,
yes,
is it?
online, I
Yeah.
cannot help not answering my former student Ada. So so please do accept my warmer greeting. So when I'm talking, actually, I might be missing some like comments. Please forgive me, because sometimes I have to. So this is maybe my drawback, because I want to tell a lot. I want to express myself,
Yeah,
and sometimes 15 minutes may not be enough. And of course, she's writing that Georgia has a great culture, and I'm really happy to
culture and
hear this from my former student. Yes, and by the way, I encourage Eda, and she was just participating in the international like student conference, which was between students and
uh-huh.
like pupils, and she was presenting together with my 10-year son,
Yeah,
and she was really pleased because she was motivating my son, and of course it was a great
wonderful.
experience for, yes, for us. And as to return to your question, Volkan, because I don't want to just leave your question unanswered, I can tell you that during this COVID-19, it was our mandatory transition to this online learning procedure. But I can even tell you that when I was this was a period when I was very actively, how to say, just communicating with my international colleagues from Germany, from like Italy, because I was visiting Italian university as a guest lecturer like last year in Reggio Calabria, even is a great in Poland, because I have
Great.
a lot of friends in Poland and in University of Wrocław. So a lot of, because whenever I go as a guest lecturer, I try to cooperate my institution with these institutions. And when this
Mm-hmm.
pandemic started, actually, this we were all shocked, yes, and we were
Yeah,
communicating with each
exactly.
other.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to do? But I can tell you that our institution, in this case, Patumi State Maritime Academy, together with its great team of foreign languages department, quality assurances, have to say, center, and together with like IT department, and of course together with the administration, they really did an invaluable job, because it was, I have to say, mandatory transition, because either we will survive or we will fail, because this meant a lot of students
Exactly. Uh-huh.
without, because they will fail the academically, plus a lot of lecturers without jobs. And but yeah, I can tell you that my
Mm-hmm.
experience of attending before this, I even have been attending a lot of online trainings, a lot of with the University of Oregon, like a distant learning courses.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Wonderful.
preparation. Maybe I was mentally prepared for this adventure, online adventure, because on March the 2nd, I gave a
Yes.
So it was very difficult here for the whole world. And I really wanted to just praise it, to finish it in a peaceful manner, yes, with like a minimum of,
Uh-huh.
to say, damages to everyone. But still, at the beginning of this year, I got just invitation from ITEV special interest group. And this online webinar, as well as Macmillan Milan webinar series, helped me a lot in order to get prepared for this like online lessons, yes. And that's why
Yes.
we had these online encounters with our students. But still, believe me, we had to, maybe I was prepared. Maybe some of my colleagues were prepared. But believe me, there were a lot of like, not middle-aged, a lot of like older colleagues, which we actually respect and which we actually cooperate. But we all got united. And could you imagine, we
Exactly.
were spending hours and hours on Zoom. And of course, I was sharing that, you should use breakout room for like this platform, because our institution only allowed us to use only licensed version of Zoom, because they did their best in order to purchase this version of Zoom, because they need to somehow record and register. This was another formality which we as academic staff had to surrender, and we had to accept. And
Uh-huh.
you got maybe there were some kind of like a cheating
Great.
from student side, especially the part of like a assessment. It was problematic. So during this like online learning, but still more or less, we got connected with our students, because in some with the students which even had very bad internet connection. That's why we were stopped. We were working 24. So we can tell you that, because we were answering, we
I
were
see.
motivating
Uh-huh.
them. Yes, we were just on Facebook, on social networking sites, on our WhatsApp groups, everywhere. In Microsoft, but of
Everywhere.
course Microsoft, yes. But Zoom was the only platform which was used, and I can tell you that our institution also more or less it succeeded. But we were even congratulating ourselves after like all we finished the exams. I can tell
Uh-huh.
you like 2 weeks ago, with this like a re-exam and everything. But we succeeded. And Georgia, and I'm really proud to announce that my country, even because I was I was cooperating with my German colleagues in Würzburg
Yeah.
University, which is very traditional university. And but I can tell you that Germany is a country where social distancing means social distancing, but we were locked down. We did not return to the university, and we finished all the classes in online regime. But because I know that in Germany, in some countries, some remote countries, because we had even special breakout rooms and special breaks with the ITEF special intergroups, and we all teachers all from all over the world, we were exchanging our experiences, and it was very good that for me to announce that we managed to move
Wonderful.
to transit successful online learning, which was mandatory for our side, yes, for
Yeah,
our
exactly.
party.
Probably
So
it
this
was a
is my
hard.
experience. Yes, yes, this is
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
experience.
I see. It's a
Yes,
great experience, and it probably actually for all of us, it's a very difficult situation to move from
definitely.
face-to-face education to online education. But as you said, more or less, we managed to deal with this situation. Yeah, we succeeded actually. Also, our country also, I'm sure that we also had showed very great about. We did a
I'm
great
really
job
happy
too.
that, because
Like
I
your.
also have been just communicating with my Turkish yes counter. So there I was also following
Yeah,
their like just events, because a lot of free webinars, a lot of paid webinars, of course. But we were choosing what is best for us, what is more timely for us. So this was a really time
exactly.
for making a good choice. Yes. Otherwise,
Yeah,
we
definitely. I think. have she has some internet connection problem, I think. Can happen, as you know. Yeah. She has left exchange ideas with all in the world. Yeah, love-wise, you are right. Exactly. We have to change our ideas. We have to, we should do it. We should do it with other countries. We have to, change and share our ideas or experiences with other teachers with all around the world. Because we need it as a teachers. And I'm waiting for her to come back. Let me look. I don't know. Well, I think she has kind of connection problem. Sorry for this, but this things can happen from time to time. Yeah, she has returned. Things connection. She has returned.
So it's
Welcome
sorry
back.
for
No
I
problem.
don't know what is happening. Somehow
Yeah,
maybe this can be my anxiety can be like just copied on my like app.
no problem,
Yeah,
Mrs. Dolidze.
I'm really
This thing
sorry,
can
but the
happen.
main thing is
No, 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 no.
yeah,
It's okay. So I would like to ask you some other questions,
yeah,
and
yeah,
I think the
ready.
other question is, look, what kind of activities can you suggest for the teachers to use during this period with their students?
Yes. By the way, I really want to pay attention to this, some pros of online learning, because I can tell you that in most cases, it develops. Do you hear me?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, so the activities which actually are just more motivating, more inspiring, more relaxing, because which is based on how to say on the assessment, not on formative as on like a proper assessment. Because when you teach online, yes, students need feedback, and this feedback sometimes this can be either immediate or this can be either just a late feedback. That's why activities which are to say which actually helps them to build a community, especially when we are now going back to school. So, and when we even don't know, because we are our academic year starts from 15th of September, and there are some even rumors and maybe evidence-based fact that there will be second wave of the pandemic. So it's very important to offer the activities which are mostly orienting and focusing on building community, on warming up, on integrating, yes, the
Uh-huh.
classroom atmosphere. So this is very important, yes.
Yes, I understand.
I was attending training, which was organized by, again, SR Teaching and Learning, with amazing Paul Herway, which is British teacher trainer and which is based in Morocco. But he gave
Uh-huh.
us a lot of insightful ideas how to actually about how to use drama, because we all more or less had some more or less quite stressful life, because we have to work a
Exactly.
lot, we have to prepare, we have to
Uh-huh.
organize our time, because during COVID-19, when you prepare for online lesson, you need definitely a lot of time management skills, because you need
Yes.
to manage your time, you need to manage students' time, you need to actually, have to say, get best, how they said, you should be a good manager, yes. So in your own classroom. That's why Paul suggested us a lot of interactive activities, which is based on how to using drama, using films, using dialogues, in order
Mm-hmm.
to get how to say, to integrate a lot of how to say integrate like a lot of like a warming up mood. Yes, and initially and for more than 3 years, I have been using authentic materials, and during the which was based on
Yes.
like something not from the course books, which is authentic, which is up to date. For example, in business English class, I all the time use a lot of articles, but you know that you have to update them all the time, because and during
You are
pandemic I
right.
have to. Yes, I was selecting articles from the Guardian, like a section which was related to the world before COVID-19 and after COVID-19. It's the same, for example, in my legal English class, I was using article instead of, for example, stand-up comedy, and instead of freedom of speech and expression in stand-up comedy genre, I was using, for example, article about how in China, because of the lack of, because of the limited right to the freedom of speech and expression, this Chinese doctor who actually was telling the world that it was a very, very disastrous out of the virus. No one listened to him, and he actually ended in like he died. But if China had more freedom of speech, we should not have been faced this reality. That's why I had to change my articles. That's why I was actually selecting the articles which was very relevant to the reality, which was appealing to the students, reality which was relevant to the students, and which was actually not motivating, but of course it was rewarding, yes, and it was like educational.
Definitely.
So this is my experience of. That's why I can tell you, of course, also SR teaching and learning gave us very insightful idea how to use my robots. It was done by Iva Tatarova. And thank you, Iva, because I am definitely going to use it in my ESP classroom, because I used to be using Padlet, to Kahoot, a lot of things, and mostly Zoom breakout rooms. And I also was using I was during this summer, I was trained as a teacher trainer for American councils on critical thinking skills. And we have been using mostly Microsoft Teams, which is definitely a unique platform for storing materials, for like a great storage. Yes. Of resources
wonderful.
or videos, because you can revisit them, SharePoint slides. So, you know, Volkan, I can tell you that there are so many resources. There are so many apps.
Yes.
Sometimes, sometimes we will even get confused. Yeah. That's why we need to just to maybe pick up something which is relevant to this class, which is relevant for adult learners, which is young learners. Yes. Making it interactive. So the main thing, so this is my advice, to get connected with the audience, yes, to make them feel that you are with them, yes, you are supporting them, that you are not going to abandon them, and you are not going, how to say, so because some of my students, oh, are you going to, so just how to say, give us ethics. This is like, they want to stay with you. So that's why you need to support them more than ever.
Yeah.
Yes, more than ever.
Definitely, you are right. We have to support more than ever our students. Different kind of activities, different kind of materials to support them, to make to give them a better education during this time. So we have to use every alternative that we can find for them to use. Great. Yeah, wonderful. Wonderful. And my actually we have only 5 or 6 minutes left to end of the session, but before that I have 2 more questions for you. So one of it, what do you think about the teachers' professional development, and what can teachers do for their professional development during this period? What can you suggest them to do it?
Okay, I can suggest the teachers to be. So, you know, this is my motto, which I used during my lifetime. And I really love Aristotle, and I often refer to his works and to his phrases. And we are what we repeatedly do. And you know why do I love it? Unless you stop professional development, unless sometimes even my family members complain, why do you need all this stuff? Yeah. So you're so terribly ambitious. No, I am not terribly ambitious, you know, because I face constantly developing younger generation. Because when I go into the classroom, I need to be updated. I need to be prepared, yes, with recent
Yes.
materials. That's why I advise them to benefit from a lot of online platforms, a lot of Macmillan, SR Teaching and Learning. By the way,
Yes.
on the 28th of August, we will be actively, I have not taken my vacation, but I will be on my vacation, but I will be presenting on the marathon. So how
Yeah.
to, so this will be a back to school marathon, which is, and by the way, thanks to SR Teaching and Learning. And when
SR
we were,
teaching.
yes, learning, it was a very timely marathon to integrate, to cooperation between academics, teacher academics, and practitioner teachers. And we will be presenting, I will be
Yes.
giving some rationale about activity. And my colleague from Poland, she will be actually presenting an activity. And I really encourage all the teachers, never stop. Of course, we should not be overburdened, but still, it's very important to be constantly updated, to use authentic material, to use something tailored, customized, what is interesting for the learners, yes? And of course, we should definitely think about our learners' learning styles, because sometimes when you teach online, when you teach, definitely move a lot during the classroom. But of course, so we need to make these learning materials to be visually attractive, to be so for as well to end. When I was actually attending Paul Robertson interview, so I was asking him how to find a balance. So this is very important, to find a balance between what to offer, what to actually avoid during this time, because you should pick up the best. And most times, yes, this is very important. So this is my advice, how to say.
Yeah, thank you. Wonderful advice. I'm sure that most of them will get it. And by the way, I will be there at the marathon. On that day, I have already registered, and I'm looking forward to being there. Yeah, on that day. And thanks to SR Teaching and Learning for this opportunity. Yeah, we heard this. We heard this as actually I have no idea about the marathon. Since last week, you remember, like Eva from SR Teaching, she mentioned it. That was really a good chance for us to share and to listen and to very good educators' ideas and experiences.
Definitely, yes. There will be a lot of educators like Paul Haraway, a lot of educators like from just from all over Europe, yeah, like our colleagues, our friends, because you know what is important? Sharing is caring. And nowadays, so this is the time when we all started to get united. Of course, we cannot do a proper research without getting some insights from like those who are like a running language center, because I can tell you that I even went to the internship experience to the language center INT, which is actually for SR Teaching and Learning. I was attending the classes for young learners in order to, because when I was just writing a research and I needed this idea, what was happening inside, yes, because I was mostly just started my career, I started my career with adult learners. That's why it's very important, yes, for our just colleagues, for novice teachers, please start teaching with young learners. This is really brilliant. Then you can like take all these steps in your life.
Yeah, definitely. From young learners to adults.
Adult learners, yes. All steps.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
all
any
steps.
career. This is very important, yes.
You are right. You are right. And I have a question like, what's your motto? But you have already told us about your motto. So I skipped that question. So my other question is, what do you think about the future of education?
Wolfgang, it's a very good question, and I think that this is a question now which we actually started to ask ourselves. Yes, and I was even wondering that it was like maybe this pandemic, this online learning, this was somehow this will be foreigner, because nowadays when we have to split between a lot of tasks, we are all multitasking. you know,
Yeah.
somehow. That's why future education, I think, this will be hybrid learning. So maybe there are many ideas, many controversial opinions from like a traditional, like supporters of education that
Mm-hmm.
okay, you should go to the online, like a face-to-face, like a education. This cannot be substituted by online. You know that if it's properly planned, if it's properly organized, if it's I have to say devoted like attention, which it definitely deserves. I think this can be a very good alternative. Yes, because you can, for example, why not? I can attend. I attended a lot of like online like trainings, and during this pandemic, when I was selected for this American Council training, and could you imagine what could happen without the online platform? I think the future of
Exactly.
education will be not fully, but it will be partially and step by step moved to online platforms, like maybe, because it is time saving. At the same time, it saves our budget as well. But of course,
Uh-huh.
we should return because we all miss traveling. But sometimes
Yeah.
somehow this will be like a sharing experience, but this will be some kind of like a progressive transformation to the more or less artificial intelligence. But of course, I am not telling that our usual intelligence will be fully like there will be translators still needed. We teachers will be still needed because we cannot be substituted by robots, definitely. But still, this will be like kind of hybrid. So this can be
I see.
combined. But I
I
don't
see.
see any problem. I don't see any problem about this. And
Uh-huh.
I'm quite so. And by the way, I started to just our future generations, they are very tech friendly. Even sometimes I take advice from my younger son, who is very tech friendly. And so this
Mm-hmm.
will be actually coming from our generations. That's why we need to get adapted to their needs, because they are different individuals. They are 21st century generation. That's why it's inevitable. And we should
Inevitable.
not avoid it.
Exactly.
We should
I
not
see.
avoid it. On the
I see.
contrary, so we should accept it. It's our reality. But of course,
Yeah.
so I really hope, and I really, my students, hugging with my students, not like a with social
Yeah,
distance,
exactly.
but still.
Yeah, me
So
too.
real life, yes, a real life classroom is different experience. But of course, this can be somehow combined, but in an effective, in an organized manner, and in a successful manner, I think.
I
It
see. Thank you very
depends.
much. Thanks. Thanks a lot. Very good ideas. Very good, the experience about them. So my last question. We have only 2 minutes, but so
Okay.
I have to say it. I know that you are very busy educator, very very busy. So do you manage
Yeah.
do you manage to find a balance between your teacher's career and a private life? How can you balance them? Can you just give us a short brief, just in 1 minute? What
Yes.
can you tell us
Okay.
about them?
Okay, I once attended time management training, which was done by I often very good trainer, and I always remember just his words. So he was former Minister of Education of Georgia, by the way, and he was U.S. educated. And for me, U.S. module is different. If you organize, if you plan, if you organize your time effectively and properly, you will definitely properly and allocate to your family, to your personal experience, just interest. I have my hobbies. I have a lot of friends. I love swimming. I love sometimes like outdoor activities. I love shopping, traveling, and of course I do take care of my family, my two sons, my husband. Of course, sometimes
Yeah,
they complain, but if you do it, if you do organize it and plan it in a correct manner, I think it will be just quite sufficient. Yes, quite
I
sufficient.
see.
And of course, I cannot. Maybe some people sometimes may think that it can be hectic, but if you organize it in a just have to say, or just in a very subtle manner and in a well, like have to say, structured manner,
Uh-huh.
I think you can succeed. Yes, in everything, everywhere, in a
I see.
family, because of course, family and private life is very important. Is the top. So, but of course,
Exactly.
we need to prioritize our interests. Yes, of course,
I see.
today, before your entry, I have attended 2 webinars.
Wow.
Of course, I have been, yes, doing a lot of things, but I have not been teaching today because we have a vacation. So time
I
management is
see.
everything. So my advice is to plan and manage time just in a wise manner and organized manner.
I see. Great.
Oh, thank
Great,
you.
Mrs. Dolidze.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your experiences, for your time, and for your wonderful ideas, and to share them with us. I was so happy to listen to you, and I'm sure that all the teachers and educators or the
Really,
people who
I'm
listen
not
to you.
quite sure. Yeah,
No, no,
I
no, no, no.
really.
It was wonderful. I really love it. And thank you very much. And also thank you very much to SR Teaching and Learning for their support, because they come always and listen and join and support with their ideas to us. And thank you very much one more again. And I hope to join, and I hope to have another session soon with you again. And thank you very much.
You're always welcome. Yeah, have a nice evening, and
Nice
also
evening.
thank you again for your just interest, for listening to me, and also
Yeah.
for sharing and
Thank you
like
very much,
accepting
Dolitze.
my ideas.
Take care
Bye.
of yourself, and good evening, and bye.
Good evening. Bye.